We'll be going over IRS notice CP108. This is a tax notice that you might receive from the Internal Revenue Service if you made a tax payment and the IRS cannot determine the correct tax form or the tax year that they should apply it to. So we'll break down this video. We'll break down this form in this video. It's relatively straightforward and it's a pretty brief form. So let's go ahead and talk about the upper right hand corner. So at the very top, you'll see the notice number, the tax period that is covered, and then the notice date. And I always stress to people that you should pay particularly close attention to the date of the notice. Especially since in this case, there is an action item that requires you to pay attention to the notice date. If you didn't, please call us within 10 days of the date of this notice to complete this action. We'll get to that in a moment. But if you don't know the notice date, if you're not paying attention, then you could possibly miss it, and this could, lead to further tax troubles. So in this case, you've overpaid your taxes, so the downside is relatively small. But in cases where you may be owing taxes, you definitely don't want to get behind the 8 ball, especially if you need to walk through an installment plan or something where you need the IRS to work with you to resolve that tax issue. So always pay attention to the notice date. There's the employer ID number and then a contact phone number. Over here to the left will be the taxpayer's name and address. And the second thing I always stress to people is that you should keep your address current and up to date with the IRS. 2 reasons. One, there might be sensitive information that you don't necessarily want floating around. So you don't want this to get caught up in the mail forwarding and lost in the mail, going from one address to another, or possibly getting stolen. And then the second thing is the longer that your notices and IRS correspondence take to get to you, the less time you have to react. So most taxpayers don't think that they're going to get an IRS notice until the day that they actually receive an IRS notice. So even if you don't think this situation applies to you, keep your address up to date. It's relatively straightforward. You can call the IRS. You can even change your address here, or you can complete IRS Form 8822, or in this case, the case of a business, IRS Form 8822-B. This is the official change of address form for the IRS, and you can send it in, and it will update your tax record on file. You can also update your tax record simply by filing your tax return. So if you are about to file your tax return, you can file with your new address, and the IRS should automatically update your tax record with your new address. So keep those 2 things in mind. So let's take a closer look at this. It says that you made a tax payment of $200 on September 12th, 2018, and we cannot determine the correct form or the tax year to apply it to. So based on your account information, we went ahead and applied your payment to your Form 940 for the tax period ending March 31st, 2018. Since this is a notice coming in 2019, it appears that the taxpayer probably owed taxes due for a prior tax period. If the IRS had not found anything, where there was an outstanding tax bill, then you probably would have received a notice saying that you should be expecting a refund. So what do you need to do? Well, if the IRS did everything correctly and you agree with it, you don't need to do anything. If you want them to apply the payment to a different account or a different form, then you need to call the IRS, and you also should mail IRS Form 15108, which is basically their form to change the direct deposit or federal tax payment. So that form is not available publicly on the IRS website, so you may only have the choice to complete the paper form and then send it back. You may be able to use the document upload system on the IRS website, or you may have to simply mail it, which you would complete this stub with your form 15108. You would mail it to this address. It should contain your information. I don't see any additional instructions here, but again, if you needed to make an additional tax payment, you can go to the IRS website and do that. Let's check out the guidance on the CP108 notice. So again, there's not a lot of new information. If either the payment was applied correctly and you don't need to do anything, or it was incorrect and you should probably call and contact the IRS. So there are some frequently asked questions. You can talk about, how you would approach the conversation with the Taxpayer Advocate Service, making corrections to your tax account, how you should, make those changes if you disagree with them. So there aren't really any other tax forms that we've been able to do articles and videos on, specifically IRS form 15108. However, if someone has a copy and can forward it to me, I'd be more than happy to research and create an article on that. Just hit me up in the comments section. So we will put links in the show notes to articles and videos we've created about some of the tax forms mentioned here. So pay attention to that. And if you like our articles, please subscribe to our newsletter. If you like our YouTube videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, or if there's a topic that you'd like to see discussed on an upcoming video, please hit me up in the comments section. Thank you very much and have a great day.